for adventure!
Arthur Geese, let's get adorable.
Here we go.
We've played a lot of really rough, violent, aggressive, mature content, I feel like, in these past autumn months. And I think it's time that we decompress a little bit, get in the holiday spirit with our good buddy, Captain Toad. He's my
greed and avarice.
He's my good buddy. I can't speak for you.
I think I'm closer to Toadette at this point, honestly.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was an option yet. I guess you're a little bit further along, and I guess you just spoiled it for me.
Well, I mean, you meet her right away.
Okay.
By which I mean she is kidnapped by a giant bird.
Oh, God. Imagine that.
Yeah, go figure. Hey, Nintendo.
Hey, there it is. So this is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Tracking a little bit of treasure right now, as you can see. Just kidding, I'm murdering Shy Guys is what I'm doing right now. And it is an extended version of the Captain Toad's minigame, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, they're like side missions. They're sort of just like a palate cleansing distraction in Super Mario 3D World from like, the hardcore Marioing.
Right. And I mean, there was a lot of that kind of stuff in Super Mario 3D World, which is why it is like possibly my favorite Mario game ever.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's kind of a contentious statement, but hoo boy did I love that game. But partially because of stuff like this. And it makes me very, very happy that they have turned this into a full thing. Basically, I mean, the crux of it hasn't exactly changed from what it was in the Super Mario 3D World. You explore these. They're typically, cube-shaped levels, trying to find treasures, tracking them, you might say, and moving the camera around to try and decipher where it is, where the path is to each of these little diamond guys.
It's sort of like an Escher-esque take on the idea of a platformer. Like, you can never see everything. Things seem coherent from one camera angle, but you realize there's a lot more to it from another.
It's actually a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be, because I don't remember any of the Super Mario 3D World levels being especially challenging, but here, for instance, I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. They've sort of expanded what you can do over what you could do in the Super Mario 3D World levels. There's a lot more stuff to touch and tap and mess around with, like these platforms, for instance, which is all very, very cute. I think I've got it. Nope. God.
I mean, got it is the thing is, what does got it mean here? Does it mean you have all the crystals, or does it mean you got to the star? Because that's the thing, right?
For me, I'm all about them crystals. If you don't get them crystals, what are you even doing? You're wasting.
You're
my
reviewing
time.
The game, and you don't have a lot of time to do it in.
I guess that's probably true. I guess we can talk about pound for pound. It's the most adorable game I've ever seen. Just right there, closing in on it. Everything's just so shiny, and
look at his little headlamp and his
little headlamp and his little body.
He waddles.
His little waddle in his shoes.
So that's the big thing about this that makes it different from a Mario game proper, or from 3D World specifically, is that he can't jump. Toad and Toadette cannot jump.
No hops. Very few hops.
So, I mean, it takes other mechanics from Mario 3D World like this. The cherry stuff is from 3D Land and 3D World.
Right.
But it is very different navigating a Mario-type environment without a jump. That's what Mario is. Mario jumps.
Right.
So he is. And it makes for something much more deliberate and methodical than I think Mario typically is.
Yeah, it is deliberate, and it's surprising. I can't think of many Mario spin-off games that are especially successful. I'm looking at you. Mario is missing.
I think it's just that it feels smarter than your average Mario game, and that's not something that a lot of the side games do. They're cute little toys.
Yeah.
They're distractions, whereas this in my review, the best way that I could think of to describe it, which admittedly is pretty underwhelming because I'm really tired. It's December. It's been a long few months. Is that Nintendo's really hard. It has that really strong sort of core mechanical concept, and they just iterate on it again and again. They try so many different ideas. And
very quickly, too.
Yes.
But by level 2 or 3, they're throwing in stuff that sort of expands on the central mechanic, which was obviously a result of them tapping into a cool thing that the gamepad can do, which is, you know, make you feel like you are looking in through a window at this other, you know, world.
Sure.
And yeah, they don't waste any time in adding more stuff to that. So you've reviewed the game and you've played through all of it. Do they keep that pace up for the entirety of the game? I remember you telling me that it is actually a surprisingly lengthy adventure. Look at that diamond, I missed it, and I'll never be able to get it again.
Yeah, see, you screwed up.
I screwed the pooch is what I did.
So I think the number is around 70 levels, which is a lot. That's a lot of levels.
For a it's like $30, isn't it, the game?
It's 40, I think.
40.
But still, even for a Mario game, 70 levels is kind of a lot.
That's a lot of levels.
And also, there is additional stuff in the game that I don't want to spoil for people necessarily, but once you finish those 70 levels, it goes straight into something else.
Oh.
Which is sort of classically Nintendo. So there's a lot of game there. And yeah, they do keep finding new ways to do things, although toward the end there are one or two experiments that I don't think work as well. There's a particular kind of level where you're running the whole time, and it's on a very narrow series of platforms, and if you fall off, you die.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that's... when this game gets the most punitive is when it's the least fun. Like,
well, yeah. I don't want to see Captain Toad die. I don't want to be confronted with Captain Toad's mortality.
No, and I did see the game over screen, and that's sort of like a weird vestigial remnant from Super Mario 3D World, is that, like, it still takes 100 coins to get a 1-up. You still need a 1-up mushroom, but you're getting way fewer coins, and way fewer 1-up mushrooms than you ever were in Mario. So it almost feels like that's a spot where they could have done more. Although here we have something like that is, again, that it's just introducing a new thing, which is the idea of like a almost stealth sort of mission setup for the game, where the Shy Guys rotate and they're on guard paths.
And you have to sneak up behind them and use close quarters combat and snap their necks. Exactly.
And I mean, stuff is a threat in this game the way that it's not in a mainline Mario game, because you can't just jump on their head.
Right.
Like you can fall on their head, but you have to put yourself in a position to do it. And if you screw up, they can catch you and end your little Toad existence.
Right. Again, not really a subject matter I want to deal with. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's surprising to me that this was the, like, franchise that they decided to spin off next. That this is, I'm not complaining. I've really enjoyed what I've played of the game. It just seems like, I don't know. It just seems like we'd get a new, Yoshi platformer before we get a Toad-based puzzle game.
Well, the Yoshi platformer's out next year, so there's that.
That is true.
But I don't know. It makes sense to me because it largely reuses stuff. Like, it reuses stuff from Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it in general.
Yeah, but it does it in such a way that I don't really mind, and Super Mario 3D World was a gorgeous game anyway.
Yeah.
The touch stuff I don't feel is super necessary.
Oh, jeez.
And look, you just wasted that mushroom for nothing.
I'm the worst.
Like, in a lot of ways, this feels like it could have been a 3DS game. And I get why it's not, but it could have been. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And that's something that like, is not in strong supply. That's sort of, like, for lack of a less boilerplate term, the idea of good, clean, like, fun that a Mario game is in very short supply this fall, and this is definitely, like, a lot of that.
Yeah, I think that's true. I've seen like an enormous amount of people, like, talking about how much they're looking forward to Captain Toad Treasure Tracker,
right.
Which doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't seem like the hot jam that is really going to set the world on fire this holiday season, but I really do think it is just because, like, people are tired of, stabbing dragons in the throat and stabbing
soldiers,
mercenaries in the throat, and yeah. I mean, you're still stabbing Shy Guys in the throat, which doesn't seem to fit the source.
It's a departure for Mario, really. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's the darker middle chapter.
Anyway, this is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Thanks for watching. Arthur, thanks for joining me. Oh, I hope these shy guys don't kill me, because that would be embarrassing.